In this session, we are going to dismantle the pathetic ritual of begging for sponsorship and replace it with the architecture of the sovereign offer. You are currently operating like a street performer, shaking a tin cup asking for coins from passing corporations. You send out media kits, which are essentially resumes for clowns, listing your views and your demographics like a desperate job applicant. The soft man thinks that getting a sponsorship is a favor. The architect understands that he is the gatekeeper to a highly specific, highly volatile, and highly profitable tribe of consumers, and that the advertiser is the one who should be trembling at the prospect of being denied entry. We are going to teach you how to frame an offer of $4,000 not as a cost but as a mercy. We are going to teach you how to make a marketing manager feel physically ill at the thought of not paying you because you have structured the reality in such a way that your silence is more expensive than your voice. This is B2B psychological warfare, where you do not sell exposure, you sell salvation. Let us begin with the fundamental shift in frame control. When you approach a brand, you usually approach from the low status position. Please look at my channel. Please give me money. This triggers the brand's predator instinct. They smell weakness, so they offer you a low-ball deal or a free product. To get the $4,000 check, you must approach from the high status position. You are not a creator. You are a consultant. You are a surgeon. You do not ask for a deal. You audit their business. Before you ever send an email, you must spy on them. You use tools to look at their traffic sources. You look at their ads. You find the bleeding neck. Maybe their ads are cringe. Maybe their engagement is dead. Maybe they have no presence on YouTube. You identify their pain point. Then you reach out not with a request, but with a diagnosis. I noticed that your competitors are dominating the search results for X, and you are nowhere to be found. You are losing approximately $50,000 a month in potential revenue. I can fix this. You have just flipped the script. You are not asking for money. You are pointing out a hole in their boat. Now they are listening to you not as a beggar, but as an expert who sees their failure. We must dismantle the concept of the media kit. The media kit is a menu for peasants. It creates commoditization. It puts you in a bucket with every other influencer. The architect burns the media kit. He creates a strategic proposal. This proposal does not list prices for a shout-out. It lists outcomes. You do not sell 60 seconds of integration. You sell the trust transfer protocol. You explain to them that your audience is not a crowd of randoms. It is a cult of believers. You explain that when you recommend a product, it bypasses the skepticism filter of the viewer because you have spent years building parasocial credit. You charge $4,000 not for the airtime, but for the credit. You are lending them your reputation. When you frame it this way, the price becomes irrelevant. They are not paying for views. They are paying for belief. And belief is expensive. Let's analyze the cost of inaction strategy. The soft man tries to sell the benefit of the deal. If you pay me, you get sales. This is weak. Humans are twice as motivated by the fear of loss as they are by the prospect of gain. The architect sells the horror of the void. You must paint a picture of what happens if they say no. Right now, your customer acquisition cost is $80 on Facebook and rising. The algorithm is crushing you. If you do not diversify into high-trust creator channels, you will be priced out of the market in 6 months. My channel is the lifeboat. You can stay on the sinking ship of Facebook ads, or you can pay the $4,000 toll to get on the boat. You make them feel the anxiety of the changing market. You position yourself as the only hedge against their destruction. You are not a cost, you are insurance, and you never cheap out on insurance. We must also speak of the competitor shadow. Nothing makes a brand feel weaker than the success of their enemy. You must subtly imply or explicitly state that their competitors are already circling your channel. I have a slot open for February. I'm talking to competitor name, but I prefer your product because of X. However, I can only endorse one brand in this vertical. First mover takes the territory. This utilizes the scarcity of exclusivity. There is only one of you. There are many of them. If they don't pay the $4,000, their enemy might pay it. And if their enemy pays it, their enemy gets the trust transfer and they get nothing. This triggers a primal defensive instinct. They will pay you just to block the other guy. You have turned your channel into a strategic piece of terrain that they must occupy to prevent an invasion. Let's dig deeper into the data dominance display. Most creators send screenshots of their analytics. The architect sends psychographics. You tell them, my audience is 85% men aged 25 to 34 who are interested in finance and self-improvement. They are high-income earners. They are action takers. They are not passive zombies. You use the language of the marketer. You talk about LTV, lifetime value. You talk about conversion rates. You show them that you speak their language better than they do. When a creator speaks like a CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, influencer, the brand feels safe. They feel understood. They realize you're not a kid with a camera. You're a business operator with a distribution network. This respect commands the premium price. You cannot charge $4,000 if you sound like a teenager. You can charge $40,000 if you sound like a partner. We must also address the anchor price psychology. If you want $4,000, you never ask for $4,000. You ask for $10,000 for a quarterly partnership. You present the big deal first. You show them the titanium package, which includes a dedicated review, 3 shorts, and an email blast for $12,000. They will likely say, that is too much. Then you say, I understand. Let's start with a pilot activation to prove the concept. 1 dedicated integration for $4,000. Suddenly, $4,000 feels cheap. It feels like a discount. This is price anchoring. You set the frame high so that the reality feels reasonable. The soft man asks for $500 and hopes they don't say no. The architect asks for the kingdom and settles for a province. You must also construct the application frame. You do not accept sponsors. You vet partners. On your contact page or in your email, you must make it clear that you reject 90% of offers. I protect my audience aggressively. I only work with brands that meet my quality standards. Please fill out this form to see if you are a fit. This reverses the polarity. Now they are trying to impress you. They are trying to prove that their product is good enough for your tribe. When a person has to apply to pay you money, they value the transaction significantly more. They feel lucky to be chosen. This removes the ability for them to negotiate the price. You don't negotiate with the gatekeeper who just let you into the VIP section. You pay the cover charge and you say thank you. We must also weaponize the nuance of non-neediness. The strongest negotiating position is being able to walk away and mean it. You must communicate, sub-communicated through tone and delay, that you do not need their $4,000. You have other income streams. You have AdSense. You have your own products. This deal is just icing on the cake. When a brand senses that you are hungry, they will starve you to get a lower price. When they sense that you are full, they will bring you a feast to tempt you. You reply to emails slowly. You keep your answers short. You do not over-explain. You act like a man who is busy building an empire, not a man waiting for a paycheck. This time scarcity signals high value. I have 15 minutes to chat on Tuesday, not I am free all week. The architect creates a vacuum of time that forces the advertiser to move fast or lose the slot. Now let us discuss the customized asset strategy. The soft man sells a shout-out. The architect sells content assets. You explain to the advertiser, this video will stay up forever. It will be search optimized. It will bring you leads for the next 5 years. But more importantly, I will give you the rights to cut this video into ads for your own Facebook and TikTok campaigns. Now the value proposition has exploded. You are not just an influencer. You are a production studio. You are giving them high-converting creative assets that would cost them $10,000 to produce with an agency. You bundle the usage rights into the $4,000. Now the math is undeniable. $4,000 for a permanent video plus ad creatives. They would be stupid to say no. You have stacked the deck so heavily in your favor that refusing the offer looks like financial negligence on their part. Finally, in this first phase, we must look at the Trojan horse of education. Your pitch should not be a pitch. It should be an education on their problem. I noticed your current creative is focusing on feature A. My audience doesn't care about feature A. They care about result B. I'm going to make a video that frames your product around result B. This is the angle that unlocks the wallet. You are teaching them how to sell their own product better. You are demonstrating dominance over the market psychology. When you teach the teacher, you own the classroom. They will pay you $4,000 just to see if your theory works. And because you know your tribe, it will work. You are selling them the secret key to a locked room of customers. We have established the frame and we have deployed the proposal, but now we enter the kill zone of the transaction, which is the negotiation and the closing. This is where the soft man folds. He gets an email back saying, we don't have the budget, or can you do it for $2,000? And he panics. He thinks he is losing the deal. The architect understands that no is just the starting gun of the real negotiation. When a brand says, we don't have the budget, they are lying. Corporations have infinite money for things that solve problems and zero money for things that cause headaches. They are testing your conviction. If you drop your price immediately, you signal that your initial price was a lie. You signal that you have no integrity. The architect holds the line. He uses the silence protocol. When they ask for a discount, you do not reply for 24 hours. You let them sweat in the void. You let them wonder if they offended the talent. Then you reply with one sentence. The price reflects the value of the audience and the production quality. I cannot lower the standard of the delivery, so I cannot lower the price. However, I can add an extra Instagram story to sweeten the pot. You defend the cash value, but you offer digital confetti, which costs you nothing to produce but has high perceived value to them. You teach them that your price is immutable like gravity. We must also dismantle dismantle the creative control trap. The advertiser will try to send you a script. They will try to put their corporate words in your mouth. Say it is the best solution on the market. The soft man reads the script like a parrot, and his audience vomits because they know it is fake. The architect refuses the script. You tell the brand, I do not read scripts. I translate your message into the language of my tribe. If I read your script, the conversion rate will drop by 80% and you will waste your money. I am protecting your investment by rewriting this. You frame your refusal to obey as a protection mechanism for their capital. You assert creative sovereignty. You tell them that you know the audience better than they do because you build the audience. You take their boring corporate bullet points and you turn them into a story, into a joke, into a savage roast. You make the ad entertaining. When you do this, the audience watches the ad instead of skipping it. You must demand this control. If they force a script, walk away. A scripted creator is a dead creator. Let's analyze the contractual lock-in. The soft man signs whatever contract the brand sends. The architect sends his contract, or he redlines theirs until it bleeds. You must ensure that you own the data. You want to see the pixel data if possible. You want to know exactly how many sales you generated. Brands love to hide this data so they can lie to you next time and say, it didn't convert well, we can only pay $2,000. If you have the data, you can say, I generated $20,000 in sales. My fee is 20%. That means you owe me $4,000. In fact, next time I'm charging $5,000. Information is leverage. Never fly blind. You must also include a late fee clause. If they don't pay in 30 days, the price goes up 10%. This signals that you are a serious business entity, not a freelancer they can abuse. The moment they see a late fee clause, their accounting department respects you. They pay you first because you are the one with the teeth. We must also speak of the over-delivery shock. You close the deal for $4,000 for one video. The soft man does the bare minimum. The architect deploys strategic generosity. You make the video, but you also make a vertical version for shorts, and you send it to them for free. You tell them, I had some extra footage, so I made this for you as a bonus. This destroys them psychologically. They were expecting a transaction. You gave them a gift. This creates reciprocity debt. Now they feel they owe you. They feel guilty. When you ask for the renewal next month, they cannot say no because they are still emotionally indebted to you for the free work. You are investing 30 minutes of editing time to buy years of loyalty. You are not just a vendor, you are an ally. Let's dig deeper into the post-mortem report. After the campaign is over, the soft man goes silent and waits for the check. The architect sends a debrief document. You break down the comments. You screenshot the people saying, I bought this because of you. You analyze the sentiment. You give them qualitative data that their cold spreadsheets cannot capture. You tell them, the audience loved feature A, but they were confused by the landing page. If you fix the landing page, conversion will double. You are now acting as a high-level consultant. You are giving them business advice. This sets up the retainer pivot. You say, we learned a lot in this pilot. To really capture this market, we need a consistent presence. I propose a 3-month retainer at $10,000 per month to become the face of the brand for this demographic. You move them from a one-night stand to a marriage. It is much easier to sell one entity $30,000 than to find 10 entities for $3,000. You climb the value ladder with the same client. We must also address the competitor leverage in the renewal phase. If they hesitate to renew, you drop the nuclear bomb. I enjoyed working with you. Since we don't have a retainer in place, I am now free to open discussions with competitor name. They have been asking about my availability. I wanted to give you the right of first refusal before I reply to them. This triggers absolute panic. The thought of the creator who knows their product and their secrets going to the enemy is unbearable. They will find the budget. They will print the money. They are not paying for the promotion anymore. They are paying for your neutrality. You are running a protection racket where the asset being protected is their market share. Now we must look at the psychology of the wire transfer. Do not use PayPal. Do not use Venmo. These are for children. Use a business bank account. Use professional invoicing software. The way you accept money signals your worth. If you ask for a check in the mail, you look like a dinosaur. If you use a slick automated invoicing system with net 15 terms, you look like a corporation. The invoice is the final piece of marketing. It should be branded. It should be crisp. It should look like a legal demand, not a polite request. And when the money hits your account, you do not go buy a bottle of champagne. You move it to the vault. You treat it as ammunition. You have successfully extracted resources from a massive entity using nothing but your mind and a camera. This is the ultimate proof of concept. We must also consider the long-term alliance. The goal is not to have 50 sponsors. The goal is to have 3 whales. You want 3 major brands that pay you a salary to exist. This gives you stability. The soft man is always hunting. The architect is farming. You cultivate these 3 relationships. You fly out to meet them. You buy them dinner. You treat the marketing director like a human being. You become friends. When budget cuts happen, corporations fire the vendors first. They never fire the friends. You embed yourself into their social structure. You become impossible to remove because removing you would be a personal betrayal. This is human intelligence applied to sales. Finally, let us discuss the sovereign mindset of the offer. You must internalize that you are doing them a favor. You are the one with the attention. Attention is the oil of the 21st century. They are just the refinery. They need you more than you need them. If they say no, you can go to their competitor. If they say no, you can launch your own product. You have options. They have quotas. The man with the options is the man with the power. Walk into every negotiation willing to walk out. Never be desperate. Desperation stinks, and it attracts lowball offers. Confidence attracts premium rates. Your offer is not $4,000 for a video. Your offer is access to the future. Your offer is relevance. Your offer is survival. If they don't pay, they die in the dark. Make them feel the cold. So here is the execution protocol for the architecture of the offer. Audit the brand. Find the pain. Diagnose the problem. Frame the price as an investment. Anchor high. Reframe rejection as saving their capital. Silence on the discount. Over-deliver on the asset. Send the debrief. Pivot to retainer. Threaten with the competitor. Lock in the whale. Build the vault. You are not a YouTuber. You are a media empire of one. Act like it. Charge like it. And never ever let them see you blink. The deal is closed when they realize that you are the price.